Yo, what's going on, you guys? What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back, guys, to another YouTube video, another trading video, guys. Another trading sauce, mindset sauce, guys. Today is Monday, December the 16th. And as always, we start Mondays with mindset, guys. And what that mean with mindset? In order for you to be successful in the markets, you must first make sure that you have what it takes up here. Because in order for you to be successful, you must make sure that your psychological side of trading or your psychological side of life is actually in a good position, and there's many ways that you can actually, work on your mindset. For example, you can start understanding what is it that the markets are truly about. You can start understanding things like, and today, by the way, yes, we're going to talk about mindset, and yes, we're going to mark up charts. We're going to do those too. So first, I just want to touch bases on the mindset a bit. The mind is something that, in my opinion, is the most important aspect of trading. If you don't have the right mindset, you won't be able to become successful in trading. You won't be able to become even to mark up a chart or even to really understand what trading is truly about. Because one thing I had to understand out throughout this journey is that if I'm not taking care of what's up here, which is attracting the things into my life, then how is it that I'm gonna just keep grinding? How is it that I'm gonna keep going without having a clear goal? And how do you have the right mindset, guys? Number one, you have to set goals. Okay. Number one, you have to set goals. Okay. And what I mean by this, um, and I mean, right now, since it's the end of the year, honestly, when it comes down to trading, it is a bit more complicated to set goals. And when you set goals, this is what you're gonna write down. And this is something that we're gonna start applying next year, guys. And it's important for us to have this information with us because if you guys don't believe me, trust me, 2025 is right around the corner. And if you don't have your goal set for 2025, like for example, what is your yearly? Okay, what is your goal for the year? Your goal for the month, your goal for the week, and lastly, your goal for the day. These are things that you must break down goals or yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. What are those goals? Just like how there's time frames, you should have goals for yourself as well. Number two, also what content or what things or what content are you consuming? Okay. What content are you consuming? For example, guys, I'm partnered up with a digital platform. I consume the content that the digital platform provides for me, which trading also. You must surround yourself around traders. Listen to trading podcasts, listen to trading audios, watch traders trade, you know what I'm saying? Watch from other traders do their thing because at the end of the day, you have to realize that as long as you keep having the mindset, you're gonna keep acquiring it. Number three. So first you gotta have goals. No, number two, what content are you consuming? And number three, that very last one. Okay. How good is your patience? Okay. How good is your patience? And what I mean by this, guys, something you have to realize that in trading, you must become patient. You must understand that the money goes from the impatient to the patient. So in order for you to be successful, these are three of the key details that you must have. First, you must have goals. Second, you have to understand what is it that you're putting into your mind, because what you put into your mind is gonna keep growing. At the end of the day, there's this thing in this audio that says that the mind is like a garden, guys. Whatever you plant into it, you will grow. So you're planting not such a good seeds of trading. Like for example, you keep planting the seeds of fear, seeds of over broken mindset, the seeds of those type of things, seeds, guys, you will just not grow. You will actually kill yourself internally. Lastly, how good is your patience? You must start doing things that can build up your patience. For example, reading a book, you know, start going to the gym. That's another thing that builds up your patience. Things like that is what truly is gonna get you to the next level. On another thing, listen, like reading the Bible, understanding things of that matter. Not only that, but if you're somebody who wants to, I don't read personally, guys. I do not read trading books. I have never read a trading book in my whole as in my whole journey, which I don't understand. There's a lot of people who like it, but if you feel comfortable reading a book, the trading Bible, candlestick, I think it's candlestick Bible. I think something like that, you guys can actually go ahead and read that book. But at the end of the day, it's about you understanding that, guys. So these are three things that you might understand when it comes down to trading: your goals, what are you consuming, and lastly, your patience. Okay, guys, these are super key details for you to go ahead and become successful with the markets. And this is something that really we don't like to talk about, but it's 90% of the work, guys. That's what I want you guys to understand. Okay. And I'm gonna just put it right here so you guys can get it. 90%. Okay, it goes, okay, 90% of the things that you do, okay, okay, mindset. Okay, 90% of the things that you do is mindset. While, my Lord Jesus, oop, wrong, right here. While in the other hand, we got 10% technical. Technical, technical, okay? And I'm gonna explain what is the 10% technical, guys. When it comes down to technical, this is where number one, for example, this is marking up charts, okay? Number two, okay? The other thing that's technical is honestly, like, entering trades. And lastly, the last thing that's technical, guys, which we all know, is honestly pulling out of a trade. Which is honestly clicking buttons, but we have to realize the following, okay, how is it the marking up charts is going to benefit your minds? You have to understand technical means that way you actually mark, like, it's more interactive. When you enter a trade, you have to do a click. When you exit a trade, you have to do a click. But at the same time, you have to understand that 90% of that is going to be mental, guys. You guys will struggle with entry. You guys will struggle with exit. But at the end of the day, it's about you practicing about trial error, and you will essentially become successful within the markets as long as you actually take your time. You understand that the markets are what's truly going to change your life. You will rock it, guys. Understand that also. Trading is a longevity game. It's not trading is not just for today, or it's not just for tomorrow. It's a life longevity. you know that means this is what's truly going to retire you. This is what's truly going to set your family in position in order for them to actually become, financially free. This is what's going to set yourself to become financially free. So your main focus, okay, your main focus this 2025 should be this, okay? This should be your main focus 2025, while this should be your secondary. This is what should be like your secondary focus, okay? Sounds good, guys. So also, guys, you guys hopping onto Cafecito trading nights or just watching this, the recording of Cafecito trading night, that's also, doing 90% of the work, because you keep putting information into your mind that's essentially going to help you go ahead and exceed when it comes down to trading, guys. So understand that this is part of trading, guys. This is part of what is it that you're actually doing. Sounds good. So now that we're done with our mindset side, guys, which honestly I love talking about the mindset. You guys know I'm big on mindset. If you actually follow me on Instagram by I am Samuel Tado, you guys know that I love talking about mindset. Sounds good. But without much to say, let's go take a look at the charts from last week. These are some of the charts from last week, guys. Last week we did say that the market was gonna push into these zones and was actually gonna end up selling. But something that we actually missed, guys, was the following. We actually go ahead and take it from here to here, we can actually see that the market ended up selling from 61.80, and or even if we were to flip it, 61.80, I mean, honestly, if we put it from here, so this is one, I mean, this is 0% right here where the market started all the way to 100. Yeah, we can see the 61.80 was the point that the market ended up selling from. The market ended up selling down to, obviously almost 400 pips, guys. And right now we actually push into 38.20, and now it's just, waiting to see what's going to happen. So that's one of the markups that we did last week. Let's keep looking into it. US 30 actually kept selling. It hasn't pushed all the way up. So this whole, actually this whole setup is actually invalid now. I don't necessarily think that the market is ready to keep going. Our next one is XPX 500. So XPX 500, this one, it's, honestly something amazing what XPX 500 did for us last week. You actually saw the sold that the XPX did. Then we saw the rise into the daily, the push down again, and now it just pushed all the way back up. But something special about XPX 500 is that XPX, if you actually study XPX, in the actual charts, because this, if you actually look at XPX in your trading platform, the actual one that you trade, there's no gaps. So you can actually essentially use or imbalances, I mean, you can actually go ahead and use this chart, which is in trading view, and go ahead and profits out of it by looking at where the imbalances are. Because at the end of the day, you have to realize that what the market does gives you an imbalance, it has to go back and balance it once more time. Okay, so I can see that XPX actually pushed up. I think this setup is still 50% valid. We're still gonna go take a look into it in a second. US 30 actually ended up pushing up, which I'm not even mad about because it actually pushed down all the way to our TP1. Not that bad, but at the end of the day, US 30 actually ended up buying from our zone, which at the end of the day, it actually ended up playing for us. You know, regardless if we're looking at the downward direction, you could have still take advantage of this setup. You actually see a push back, and then push to the upside. Okay. The next setup that we had was GVP JPY. GVP JPY actually, and they actually gave us the sell that we're looking for, but never pushed all the way back down. So this whole setup is invalid. Coffee actually pushing to TP2. Coffee is done for. I don't think coffee is gonna push. Well, coffee could essentially push down because he went into that imbalance. So we'll see what happens. Overall, we're gonna restart every single chart, guys, from the top to the bottom. We're gonna start all of with all of them. Now I want to go and touch bases on that crypto that we did during the weekend. As we can see, Ethereum actually ended up selling for us, almost hitting our TP1 for about, let me see from here, for about 107 pips. Beautiful, beautiful setup with Ethereum. This setup is invalid. Bitcoin, we were looking at these zones, possible buying zones, and Bitcoin actually ended up pushing, buying from, ended up buying Sunday from this zone, and actually you could have taken advantage of that for about, let's see, almost 600 pips, guys. That was a beautiful setup, honestly. We still see we still see obviously the XRP pushing up, but overall I want to start all over again from the top. Okay, so let's start from the top. Let's look at gold. First of all, what we have to understand is that gold is a commodity. Gold is a commodity, and we have to understand that gold is needed around the world. Mainly the times that we're in right now, we understand that the power of the US dollar is actually weak as it keeps going. The power of the JPY is actually getting weak. The power of the pound is getting weak. But we have to understand that at the end of the day, people right now trust two things: Bitcoin, which is a digital asset, or number two, they trust gold, which is a physical asset. And both of them represent each other really well. Bitcoin is the digital gold. That's what a lot of people say. So you have to understand things like that. So let's go ahead and mark up this pair. Okay. As we can see in Cafesito Trading 9, if you're new, if you have never been here, I welcome you. In Cafesito Trading 9, this is our, let's see, this is, let me see, is this the right one? Yeah, wrong one. Yep. This is our plan. What I mean by plan of execution, this is what we follow every single day. Number one, we look at the latest extension. The latest extension that, obviously, as we can see, gold gave us was this extension. This extension had a total amount of pips of about, let me see, 1,125 pips, which is not so much for an extension. So in my opinion, two things can happen just by looking at this setup within a few weeks. Either the market pushes down and comes and wipes out this liquidity closing below it, pushes back up, and then it's going to keep selling. That's one thing that we can see. And honestly, that would just follow market structure overall, because the market never went ahead and closed above all-time highs. The next thing that can happen, as we can see, the market actually ended up giving us equal highs. The market can actually push all the way into the equal highs, take out that liquidity, and then push down. But that's more looking into the daily type of time frame. You guys know that we're swingers and we're intraday traders here. So we look at the bigger time frame to understand how is it that we can go ahead and win. If we look at the last week, the market actually ended up closing in a weaker, bullish candle. And that means that there's a lot of liquidity here that the market could essentially push into at least 50% of it and push back down. That means that the market was actually weaker in the bullish side of things. So let's go ahead and take a look into it, guys. Number one, obviously the daily time frame, guys. We're gonna start off by marking up our daily zones. I actually love this daily zone right here because number one, it is a double top, and then not only that, but it's actually a previous resistance, while it's a previous support as well. So I love that already automatically. Number two, the second zone that I will be looking at is a zone with the most touches, guys. In Cafesito trading night, we practice a lot of strategies. One of the main strategies that we take upon is called the Gyra 7. You're good, brother. You're good. You're actually not that late, bro. I mean, you're actually not that late. We were just talking about the mindset earlier before this. So right now we're barely marking up the charts. So as we can see, the market has actually been in that area before. As long as the market stays above that area, we can see there's a bullish motion going on. So I actually like this setup right here. Let me actually push it out maybe a bit more. I actually like this right here. Now we're gonna move on to the 4 hour. In the 4 hour, we do two things. We fix and find weight. That means we're gonna fix the dailies. I'll actually like that daily better, and I'll actually like this daily better. So we're gonna fix and we're gonna find. As we can see, the market previously, the market never went ahead and closed below here. The market never went ahead and closed below this area right here, which is this one right here. The market never went in close. He actually came and tapped it and he pushed up. So the market's already giving me some signs that the market's actually, becoming weaker towards the bearish side and becoming more strong towards the bullish side. I mean, I don't blame me. He actually sold for about, let me see, it sold for about almost 800 pips. So, I mean, I don't blame it that the market is ready to actually push up at least 50% of that. So now we're going to look for the areas. I mean, right now I can actually automatically take in a type of I can actually automatically receive what could the market possibly do. We can all see that the market's actually creating a W formation. The W formation means the market breaks above that, pushes back down, is actually gonna end up pushing back up. So two things that I want the market to do. Number one, or two areas that I want the market to close above, it will be these two areas. Okay. Let me see. Right there. Oh my God. Let me see. Those are my two areas, guys. Why? Because of the areas of the most touches. The other thing that I want the market to do is I want the market to stay above this area right here, honestly. As long as the market stays above there, we're good to go. Well, we're actually going to move into the 1 hour. We're going to make sure that those areas are actually pretty good. So now we're in the 1 hour. Okay, so we're going to move this down here. Okay, well, let me see. Yeah, I actually like this area right here. So those are our two areas that we could potentially be looking into, guys. Let me actually push this one a bit more higher. Okay, those are our two areas that we could potentially be looking into, guys. Honestly, I want the market to push up, but I want the market to maintain itself above this level right here. Why? Because the market maintaining itself above that level, even though the market pushes right here, you can essentially end up pushing up. So that's the level that I want the market to maintain itself above. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and mark it red because that could potentially even become, if the market ends up playing, that could essentially become our stop loss. So let me actually go ahead and mark up the areas. So area number one is 2662.16. And that next area that I'm looking into, it will be 2657.94, which is close to 2660. 2660 is a whole level. So they're super close to 2660, which I mean, I wouldn't mind if the market even pushes to 2660 based on this information right here. Let's see. Yeah. So I think that's really good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mark up our dollar. Honestly, you guys already know our zone because we look into our zone. We just don't look at a line because honestly, let's be honest right here. How many of us are really gonna buy from the exact same line that the market gives us? I think you have to be a super sniper to be able to do that. While we're intraday traders, we have to make sure that we're buying from zones, not lines, because at the end of the day, those lines will trick us. Now we have our set, we have our setup already, guys. From there, what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and look for our liquidity. Okay. And honestly, I think I will actually like to push this on here a bit more. So now we're gonna look for our liquidity or our zones that have liquidity, our zones that the market honestly has been into before. Number one, the first zone that can automatically see that the market can come and wipe out will be this zone right here. That zone right there has liquidity for me. So that's more of a potential area that the market can push into. So let me just leave liquidity. Okay. So that's going to be at the top. So as we can see, that all liquidity means, guys, is money left behind. Money left behind. It can also liquidity can also mean retail traders. So as we can see, that sale right there, that was a small sale. So that was a retail sale. While this is a institutional sale. Okay. As we can see, all liquidity means is honestly areas with money left behind, like that one. The last thing that we want to look into, guys, and there's actually liquidity at the bottom too, that the market could come essentially and wipe it out. Like this one right here, and like the one right here. Okay. So those areas have all liquidity. And this is a term you guys need to start learning, honestly. Let me look into this candle right here. Okay, essentially my overall push, it will be a lower, overall, I'm more into the lower push because there is a lot of factors. For example, I can see that this candle doesn't have no wick, so that can essentially affect it. Candle with no lower wick. Okay, that could essentially make the market actually, want to go ahead and push into there. So let me actually make it a 12 right there. Okay, and then from there, we're going to look for gaps or institutional areas or areas where the market has been at before. For example, we actually have an imbalance right here. We have one imbalance right there, guys. We have another imbalance here. So those imbalances are super important because those could potentially also be areas of profits, guys. So I'm honestly giving you areas that the market could potentially give us profits into, guys. So don't just be like, oh, Sammy's just putting random things. No, these are things that I actually study, guys. These are things that I've actually taken days studying it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, now our last move that we do is the final, which is, or we double check with our, obviously, sheesh, guys, look at that. Look at that area. Look at that, guys. I think this is super dope. So as of right now, we can actually kind of see that the market's already starting to push up. That was the first, extension. Now we're gonna focus on the second extension. And the second extension I think is super dope, which is this extension right here. We can actually see that 76.40 and then this area right there. I think those are two really good areas. So this could essentially be your setup, guys. So just watch out for those two zones. Overall, we could potentially come see the imbalance get filled into. So I'm just honestly just putting the imbalance for you guys, just because I'm that nice. um, I have decided. So 2680, guys. I mean 2680. It is a good zone. So 2680 is a good zone that the market could potentially push into. Okay, and then lastly, this is 2700 is another one, guys. So 2680 and 2700. Okay, so 2680 and 2700, pretty dope areas. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on those areas. Now we're gonna move on to the next setup. Okay, our next market or the next setup that we're looking into right now, it is the Dow Jones, the US 30, guys. Dow Jones actually ended up pushing down. If you were not on my call last couple of weeks, is what we call 10,000 pips on US 30. And if that doesn't tell you something about what Cafecito Trading Night does, then I don't know what does. Okay, 10,000 pips, guys. That's a lot of pips within a week. I'm gonna just say that. Okay, so our next area that we're looking into right now, since I already ran over the steps, guys, I'm gonna do this one a bit more faster. Okay, you guys already know the steps. Step number one, dailies. We find the daily. As we can see that the market is actually making a structure. We can kind of see the structure right here. High, higher low, higher high, higher low. And we can actually see that candle already starting to turn into a green candle. So that's already telling me a lot, where the market's at right now. So daily right there. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go from here. Our next daily area, which it will be this one right here, because as you guys can see, there's a gap right there, which is I think is super dope. I'm actually just gonna move it down a bit longer because of that imbalance right there. 4 hour, we're gonna look for areas that we could potentially see the market push from. As we can see, the market did close below down by never pushing to that area. So in order for us to see a total retracement of the market, we must see the next few areas get pushed into. Okay. Area number one, I can already see the first area that we want to see a break above. It will be honestly with our Dow or a break of structure from. Let me see. I'm gonna just give you those two areas. Let me see. Area number one, area number two. Let me look into the 1 hour. So those are the two areas that the market could essentially, use as a potential, push into the upside. Okay. You should look into the market. Let me actually use the other ones. Deciding to follow Jesus. I don't know. That song has just been stuck on my mind lately. Beautiful, beautiful. Right there. So those are the two songs that I'm looking into, guys. Okay, honestly, US 30, it is more complex. I mean, we can see structure already getting made. So I wouldn't necessarily buy quite yet because we do have to wait for that break, to happen above there. So you do want to wait for the break to happen above here before we actually go ahead and take advantage of that move to the upside. Oh my God, what did I do? See, let's refund and then right there. So you do want to wait for the market to break above those two levels before actually taking advantage. So you want to see the market breaking above, okay? Break above here equals bullish motion. Okay, so a break above here equals bullish motion. I'm already giving it to you guys. So bullish motion, a break above there. Okay. So you want to wait out, push, close, and then a pullback. And then when that pullback happens, that's when you guys take advantage of the buy to the upside. As we can see, it's pretty clear where the liquidity is at. I mean, I don't think there's literally much that I need to explain about where the liquidity is at here. Liquidity there, liquidity there. I think this is honestly one of the pairs that is giving you the liquidity right in front of your face. Liquidity there and liquidity there. Okay. So those are potential areas that we could actually end up taking advantage of once the market breaks above it. So I want to see a break above this liquidity right here before seeing push to the downside and then continuation to the upside. Okay, and those could potentially be your take profit areas, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I like this area right here. And just make an alert. I like this area right here. I'm making an alert. And then lastly, pushing to the daily. We could potentially see that essentially through the week. Now, we're gonna go ahead and look into the extension that the market gave us from up here all the way to down there. And we're gonna find, for example, areas. Okay, as we can see, 50% Fibonacci retracement is all the way to the last area that the daily has. So I wouldn't be mad if the market pushes in, breaks above here, pushes back and continues pushing all the way up. So this week, if I'm not mistaken, if this plays out like how I wanted to play, we could be catching another, I'll say like 5,000 pips. Ain't even gonna cap to you guys. We could be seeing a total of 5,000 pips getting caught in the market this upcoming week. So don't sleep on Cafesito trading nights, guys. Use those levels. I'm actually gonna go ahead and mark up some areas of potential, which are obviously the areas that I'm giving to you guys, which could be your potential TPs areas. Okay, and then lastly, I'm gonna put this one. I'm actually gonna write something on it. Oopsie, wrong. Oh my God, Lord Jesus. Lord have mercy. Sheesh. This is not XPX, bro. This is US 30, bro. XPX, we're not looking into it quite yet. We're gonna look into it in a second. Okay, 50% equals, okay. Okay, so we could potentially be seeing a 50% retracement. So those are the areas that I'm giving to you guys so for the market to push up into. XPX. I think this whole setup is still valid with the dailies and all. I think we can just maybe start. See, there's some setups that we do need to take, obviously, delete some things, but then there's others that we don't. Like, for example, this one right here, we can get rid of this, that, because the market already came for it. We have, oh, let me just get rid, okay. We have, for example, right now, we have liquidity there. We have liquidity here. So that, like, honestly, this whole setup is still valid, honestly. I still see the same buying zones. Honestly, I mean, that is a W formation that the market is giving us. So sheesh, let me just start from the top. Let me see what the market is giving me. DJ Terry Wall Street is the same as use 30, otherwise we can trade. Sheesh, bro. I'm sorry that you don't get to experience a lot of these things, bro. I mean, honestly, bro, all you need is gold. All you need is gold, bro. Honestly, US 30 ain't all that. Like, I'm gonna be honest. And a lot of traders can tell you this US 30 ain't all that. Yes, it pumps you a lot of pips, but at the same time, you also have gold, you have Bitcoin, you have other pairs like that, you know. Okay. So as we can see, all the other indices gave US 30, they gave us the push, while XPX is just creating market structure to the downside, you know. So let's see what XPX is looking into. So I'm gonna just give you the areas. Let me see what time is it. Okay, we still got a lot of time. So the areas that I see XPX right now into, it will be the areas with the most touches. As always, guys, in Cafesito trading, you look at that where the market's at right now, and then you also look for areas with the most touches. Right now, number one that I'm looking into, that will be the first area. If the market can actually hold itself below here, we could potentially be seeing a sell to the downside. You know, so those are my two areas that I'm looking into right now within selling pressure. If the market does end up selling down for us, now I'm gonna go into the 1 hour and I'm gonna look for those areas. Okay, let me actually see this. Yeah, I think I like this better. This area better. ¿Por qué, mi amor? Okay, and then from there, we obviously do our thing. And you know what's so crazy? I find it crazy how a lot of people don't have patience to actually mark up a chart like how it's supposed to be marked up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we understand that half of the things are mindset, but at the same time, you also have to understand what is the blueprint that you're using. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just like to come in and look, and they don't even look at things like, for example, like they don't even analyze the charts like how they're supposed to be analyzing. I mean, I've seen it so many times that I'm just like, I mean, I'm literally so intrigued. How many people still complain up to this day about their markups not hitting or like their charts not hitting? But yeah, you only spend like 5 minutes marking up a chart, or you don't look at the chart constantly during the day. You have to think about trading like if you however you treat trading is how trading is gonna pay you. I'm gonna just say that. You know, however you treat trading is how trading is gonna pay you. You know, so start understanding things like that, guys. Honestly, those are two areas that I'm looking into right now. When it comes down to liquidity wise, um, XPX has a lot less liquidity. What XPX does have is like I was telling you guys, what XPX does have, it's gaps and imbalances or imbalances, like how we like to say it as well. That's also liquidity, you know. So think about that. Quiero conocer a Jesús. So we have liquidity here. We have liquidity down here where the imbalance is at. More liquidity here. So, I mean, potentially we could be seeing if the market doesn't close above here, bearish motion, okay? Okay, I'm gonna just write here. As long as the market closes below 1691.82, we can see the bears in control, okay? So we'll see what happens, guys. I'm not that much of an XPX trader, so I'm just marking it up for you guys. So if you are an XPX trader, you can take advantage of this. Okay, NAS 100. Now this one is, I'm sorry, but this one is the one that I will say a word, but let me be quiet. But this one is the one that's honestly been getting on my nerves for the past few weeks. We did see the push. We haven't seen any retracement. So I'm gonna just mark this one real quick. You know, I don't know if anybody here trades. I don't know if anybody here trades this here right here. So I'm gonna just honestly see what's up. Let me see. Okay. Okay, let me just push down to there. This one is actually pretty cool because we actually have a okay 1 hour wise. Okay, that's 100. Obviously, we gotta look at the 4 hour before we look at the rest of the times. So area number one, honestly, could be that one for me. And I want to see the market come and close below here in order for me to see a shift of character. So overall now, I'm in the 1 hour. In the 1 hour, I want to see it close below here before I see a shift of character. So I'm gonna just mark up those areas right there. I'm telling you, this one is the one that gives me headaches, but I could potentially be seeing the sales this week happen. And if I actually go to XPX 500, which I forgot to do, was the Fibonacci, and we actually do the Fibonacci retracement from here to here, we can actually see that 50% Fibonacci is marking towards the imbalance. If we actually take the, Fibonacci from here to here, we can actually see that 23%, 23.60 is at 683.87. I don't make the rules. I just follow what the Fibonacci tells me. And also the imbalance is at 51.80. So that's what the Fibonacci is telling me, guys. And you guys know I love my Fibonacci. That's one thing about me. I love my Fibonacci. And I honestly believe that the Fibonacci is one of the strongest tools in the markets, in the foreign exchange markets, or any markets overall, crypto markets, any market. Indices, like this is the indices market that I'm using right now. So those are the areas that we could potentially be looking into, guys. Now, what are some things that I see on the chart right now? So some things that I see on the chart on this one, number one, is that, you see, yep, candle with no wick. That's already indicating me that the market has a magnet area. So area with no wick you can call it a magnet area, meaning that the market is drawn into the area. So that candle right there has no wick. I could potentially be seeing the market attracted into the area. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and make a line right there. Not even there. I'm gonna make it right here. I'm actually gonna lower down the tone. And this is what I love to do Cafecito during Asia session, guys, because the markets are so slow and there isn't that much volume that gives us the opportunity to find things like this, like that one. Like I think this is another one. Yeah, you guys see another one with no candle. I mean with no wick. So that's already showing me what another attraction point. That's already showing me the market is looking to what direction. If the market's attracted, guys, to lower areas, what direction do you guys think that the market could start looking into going into? I want you guys to take a guess at it. Those of you guys here in the call live. What kind of motion do you guys think that the market could be taken upon? If the market has, see, I like that right there. Okay. So I'm gonna just, what kind of direction do you guys think that the market's gonna take if the market's attracted to lower points? I'll give you guys, I'll give it to you guys. Let me see. Reversal. Bam, right there. So we could potentially be seeing a reversal in a bearish motion, guys. I mean, the market was just going insanely crazy from here all the way to up here. We can see the 61.80. We see where 61.80 is at. We also see the 23.60 is 21,584 and 61.80 is 21,662 area. We can also potentially be taking, maybe looking into this area as well, since the market's already pointing at it to me. Okay. I'm telling you guys, like, this is easy. Like, 50% area could be another potential TP area, guys. And I'm just giving you guys potential TPs areas based on what the Fibonacci tells me, based on Fibonacci retracement, based on potential, profitable areas. So stay tuned for those areas, guys. So those are the three areas that we could potentially be taking advantage of it. The marketplace up for us, guys, we could be taking advantage of about 3,358 pips out of NAS 100. Another amazing move for the week, guys. Okay, not 300, 3,000, because XPX and NAS 100 move in the thousands, not the hundreds, but the thousand. Okay. Candle win a wick. Now, where's that liquidity at? Okay, let's see, that's 100. And if you guys don't know how you can find liquidity, I do have a special scanner. I like to give it a shout out to every single call, which is liquidity swings. We can see the liquidity is right here. You guys see where the liquidity is at? You guys see how the market actually push into it? So now what is the next area that's going to give us liquidity? I understand that I see liquidity there. Also see some liquidity getting formed here. So we could potentially be seeing the market push into that area right there, creating liquidity and then pushing up. So that could be our potential liquidity zone. Let me see. Top right there. But right there, guys. Okay, as we can see, the market's already starting to position itself to push down. Now, GBP/JPY is more of a foreign exchange pair, guys. If you're somebody who likes smaller, slower pairs, but at the same time a fast-paced pair, GBP/JPY is the one. All right, let me ask you guys this. How are you guys enjoying this session today? How are you guys enjoying Monday Mindset? How are you guys enjoying just seeing the overview of the market just starting off? How is it that you guys are feeling after just seeing how stack keep marking up at charts, which I'm not just marking up just to mark them up. I'm marking them up based on analysis, based on strategy, based on mindset, based on honestly understanding what, actually the bigger money is doing. Does that make sense? Because we also have to understand that. Okay. Like this right here, guys. Let me ask you guys something. Let me ask you something. What was I gonna say? What uh what type of market are we on, guys? Are we in a bullish or bearish market? Hmm? Are we in a bullish or in a bearish market, guys? What do you guys think? Are we in a bullish or a bearish market? Oh my God. You guys think that we're in a bullish or in a bearish market? Bear seal? I mean, I couldn't understand where the bear is coming from based on honestly on the thing. We are potentially bears for the short term. Well, there's two things that we can see because the market actually never closed below here. You can see that? They actually did it, gave us equal. So two things can happen. You see how the market actually never closed below it? Two things can happen, guys. Number one, The market goes ahead, pushes into this area, liquidates all of this money right here, and then just sells down for us, liquidating all this money here, pushing back up, and doing that one more time, coming to this candle right here. Or the next scenario is that the market actually pushes above here, wiping all of this out, waking this area down, pushing back down, and it starts to actually just sell. You see, multiple scenarios based on things that I see of the market. I'm not just saying, oh, this and that. This area right here has a gap, guys. The market loves those. Okay, but let's focus on the daily right now. Let's focus on the daily zone. This one is a perfect example of a daily. Perfect example of a daily. So we have daily time frame right there, guys. The market already actually is starting its reversal. I can already see the reversal starting off. And then the next area with the most touches, it will be this area right here. Okay, so those are my two areas that I'm looking into right now. Okay, now from here, I want to go into the 4 hour and I want to see what the 4 hours going to give me. Okay, those are my two areas, guys, that I'm looking the market to push into. Okay, let me look into it right now. Yep, perfectly two areas. We could potentially be seeing the market wake in that area one more time. So anything below or around those areas, guys, could potentially be your areas right there. I've been bored again and again and again and again. Okay. You should still need to journal, a bit of the markets. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but one thing I can tell you is journaling your trades or journaling the markets is honestly amazing. Something that I've been doing lately is instead of journaling per trade, I journal per day and what the market is doing, what I see the market doing per day. That's honestly what I do because it serves me as a just understanding of what the market is doing. It gives me a total understanding of what the market is doing. And yeah, it's honestly super dope to do it. I feel like you guys should try it, honestly, if you're gonna be looking into, honestly, trading a lot more. I feel like it should be something that should be doing in the daily, just like how we develop our mind within regular journaling. I feel like you should be journaling on daily basis, with the markets as well. Because at the end of the day, this is the thing that's gonna get you paid. If we actually look at the imbalance at the Fibonacci extension, okay, let me see. I actually like this area. So let me see. I'm gonna give you guys potential areas of, honestly, profits. That could be one of my areas. Honestly, I don't trust the area that much. And then the next area that I'm looking into will be the 50% area. I think that 50% area and that one could be potentially good areas for profits if the market wants to just give us a little pullback over the week. Those are the areas, honestly, that we could potentially be seeing the market pushing into. I mean, I honestly want to see the market push up, and then honestly, I want to see the markets reverse through it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what is that I want to see the market do in each pair with this beautiful, beautiful, you know. So I want to see something like that happen. Okay, that's number one. Either that one or the next area, which is honestly this one. Honestly, where the market's at right now. So anything like this. So honestly, I want to see something around this area. So watch out for that area, guys. Okay. You guys see how The market's already giving it to us. So something like this, honestly, would be dope to see. Okay. We could potentially be seeing the market. Once the market opens, it's going to give us some liquidity. It's going to give us a gap tomorrow morning. I can't really see it happening. The market gives us a gap. It comes in and fills it up. US 30. Now US 30, it is a different one. US 30 overall, I do want to see some more buys. So something like this will be dope to see with US 30. And then lastly, gold. She's a gold digger, y'all. I was messing with y'all. But look, you want to see gold close above there and then push itself onto this area and then just buy. Honestly, if the market decides to sell, we can just honestly reevaluate. But honestly, this is a good setup that I'm looking into with gold. Let me just give you guys the areas. Goodbye, just stay. Okay. See what time is it? Wait. Honestly, guys, it has been an amazing session today looking at the markets. So bullish on gold. I'm bullish on US 30 for this week. XPX, I'm looking bearish until maybe Wednesday, and then we can see some bullish right after that. NAS 100, we could potentially be seeing bearish for 2-3 days and then bullish. UPJPY, we could potentially be seeing a bearish push into this area for continuation. At the end of the day, we are creating market structure with it. So something like this, something like that will be dope to see. And then, so honestly, stay tuned to that. So that's what I'm looking at. Honestly, guys, it's honestly been a pleasure to actually come here and serve you guys on a weekly basis when it comes down to Cafesito trade nights. For those of you guys on my YouTube channel, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you guys. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.